Hello and you're very welcome to the programme. And that story and the resignation of Tony O'Brien in a short while. First though, in recent years, rickshaws have become a common sight in Dublin city centre. Offering lifts around the city, it's a novel way to travel for people out for the night. But it seems like some rickshaw drivers' real business is something else entirely. Barry Cummins reports.
The latest mode of late-night transport in Dublin City. Hundreds of big, bulky bikes, better known as rickshaws, unregulated, zipping around our streets, ferrying people to and fro for cash.
I need money, and the rickshaw allows you to make money.
But did you know some rickshaw drivers are nothing more than drug dealers, selling right in the centre of our capital, and they are firmly in the sights of Gardaí.
Yeah, I'm at the top of the street here now, just watching about 3 or 4 rickshaws. 2 rickshaw drivers there at the top of the screen, doing exchange,
It's an ongoing battle into the drugs distribution crime syndicates. We've identified that we had a particular problem in respect of rickshaws.
Tonight we go undercover on the streets, following Gardaí as they arrest drug-dealing rickshaw drivers.
Yeah, that's the room for a minute.
Okay, fine. Do you understand the caution?
We follow the drug trail as Gardaí raid houses, searching for stashes. We show you how you are only ever a short distance away from drugs in Dublin City. If you want them, you can get them.
A couple of pills or anything? I don't know. Bit of coke?
Yeah, you can get per you. You're gonna spend like 100 euro for a gram of coke and 10 euro per pew.
A sunny evening in Dublin, and the streets are busy. A few miles away, Gardaí arrive at the home of a suspected drug-dealing rickshaw driver. The door isn't opened voluntarily, so detectives invite themselves inside with a search warrant. They also secured the back door to make sure no one tries to escape. This Garda operation bears fruit. It comes after a rickshaw driver was recently stopped on the street with a small amount of drugs. The subsequent investigation leads back to this rented house. A full search takes place. One man, already wanted by Gardaí, is arrested, taken into custody. Inside the house, detectives have discovered cocaine and ecstasy. A short time later, and the full seizure from the house is laid out in Pearse Street Garda Station. Over €5,000 worth of cocaine was hidden in this container. Alongside was a spoon, a weighing scales, and small bags. This cocaine was about to be divvied up into individual deals for distribution by some rickshaw drivers.
Okay, folks, we are here tonight as part of the ongoing operation targeting rickshaws involved in the sale and supply of controlled drugs in the city centre.
There are 18 Gardaí at this briefing, members of the South Central Crime Task Force and the Pearse Street Drugs Unit. We are not allowed to film most of the Gardaí in this room as they are undercover and will be on the streets tonight. Their job, to blend into Dublin nightlife. Detectives Paul Murphy and firstly Ger Walsh briefed the team before they hit the streets.
We will be putting out patrols and surveillance in the Grafton Street area between Dawson Street to Grafton Street and over to George Street, and covering all the laneways in that area. And also in the Camden Street area from Stephen's Green, Harcourt Street and onto Camden Street and the laneways in between.
Operation Rickshaw has been running for 18 months. 138 arrests have been made. Tonight will add to that list.
There's just a few guys there that have been recent arrests. He's been picked up twice this year, March and January. March he was over €1,300 worth of cannabis and ecstasy, The guy beside him there is a regular. He has been picked up 6 times in total, but twice this year. Most recently, just about 2 weeks ago. The guys we're going to be particularly looking out for tonight are these next set of people. We've seen them a few times on the top of Grafton Street in that area. They seem to be, or they are supplying into the rickshaws. 2 Irish guys. The guy on the left is a juvenile. Their premises was searched recently and there was €18,000 worth of cocaine recovered on their premises.
Any dealer found on the streets tonight might be expected to have €200 or €300 worth of drugs. This is the coal face of dealing, the bottom of the pyramid. One level above is where you might expect to find somewhere between €10,000 and €20,000 worth of drugs in a house. And so the tier structure continues. There's always a kingpin at the top whose identity the street dealers will never know.
Right, lads, we'll move on, okay? Just a bit of housekeeping. We do have plenty of backup. We have plenty of bodies. When you're out in the street, just be mindful when you're approaching these people. They're obviously in plain clothes. Just to make sure you clearly identify yourself using your badge, and make sure that everyone knows who you are on approach, and just explain obviously your powers. Any questions? No. Okay, we get going, lads, in about 10 minutes if you want to get all your gear.
Richie, do you want an earpiece?
Yeah, just go down there, obviously.
For tonight's operation, plainclothes Gardaí Paddy Martin and Niall O'Reilly are in an unmarked vehicle.
The unit we're in, all our cars are unmarked cars, so.
But obviously now for tonight, the uniform will be no good for what we're going to do tonight, so.
Crowds around, isn't it?
Yeah, it's busy. The sun.
Paddy and Niall will escort anyone arrested on suspicion of drug dealing to the Garda station for a full search. They will respond to calls from the undercover Gardaí now in various positions in the south inner city.
We're just monitoring the radio basically for the lads that are out. They're out surveillance, they're in different observation points. Those lads, you've seen them earlier there. They're dressed up.
Armed calling for Main Street. Call report. Male wearing yellow jacket, blue runners, brown hair, going towards George Street. He thinks he had a knife in his hand.
Bravo Charlie 4-3. We're just on Dame Street here now. Control. We'll have a look from the College Green side.
Before any rickshaw drivers are arrested tonight, Paddy and Niall respond to reports of a man armed with a knife. But the armed response unit get there just before them.
That's the thing about the city centre, is brilliant for that, whereas obviously if you went outside the city centre, out into the suburbs, you're going to have longer response times, but the city centre, it's generally very quick. Bravo Charlie 403, control. Yeah, Roger, Bravo 101, if that man stopped there with an RSU unit, so you can put us back down the surveillance in the B, please. It's meant to be a lovely restaurant in there, Ball Lane.
It's a real-life game of cat and mouse. Street drug dealers are always watching for Gardaí, so detectives use various covert means, and they watch and wait.
They've moved off there now, they've gone up Grafton Street, but the two elderly looking lads have gone down towards Trinity. One wearing shorts and a bubble jacket.
Roger, we're at the top of the Grafton Street here. Is anyone down lower?
Is anyone near Trinity here? Two lads, one wearing shorts and a bubble jacket, both looking off Rickshaws there.
Yeah.
Like we could have a live one here at top of St. James's Green.
403, we're sitting on Clarendon Road there if the lads need us. They have just right in front of you there, but...
Within half an hour of hitting the streets, Gardaí make their first arrest. A male driver at the top of Grafton Street. A number of Gardaí in plain clothes have suddenly swooped after covert surveillance pays off.
Okay, fine. Do you understand the caution?
Back at Pierce Street Station as the prisoner is processed, the full amount of suspected drugs found in this one arrest is laid bare. Subject to confirmation, this is a batch of ecstasy, cannabis and cocaine. Having brought the prisoner to Pearse Street, Paddy and Niall are back on patrol. It isn't long before they're picking up more suspected drug-dealing rickshaw drivers.
Yeah, have you got eyes to the bottom of Grafton Street? A fellow walking up there with a kind of a denim jacket on up there. He's just off the rickshaw drivers there. He's left the street up tonight. He's walking up Grafton Street there on the Burger King side now at the moment. Coach in a rickshaw here on the junction of Rickshaw Street.
One female driver is arrested on South King Street. By the time this prisoner is taken to Pearse Station, there's another call for another prisoner to be transported.
There's another one of the lads there looking for transport for a prisoner, so...
It's another rickshaw driver at the top of Grafton Street.
I'll take it back to you.
So there's no way you've been arrested. You're just being detained for a drug search, okay?
And then you swing a left. George's dock is over the north side.
Back on patrol, and Paddy and Niall are returning from reports of a disturbance at the docks. Now, it's back to the rickshaws. On Grafton Street, it's not just watching and waiting for the undercover officers. One Garda goes looking to buy drugs. One or two rickshaw drivers say no, but soon a dealer is detected halfway down Grafton Street.
All right, come on.
Do you have any more money, any more drugs, anything whatsoever?
Yeah.
Go on. You have coke?
Yes.
Where is it?
Yeah.
In your shoe. Okay.
As this night's operation winds down, Gardaí search the rickshaws of those arrested for any more secret stashes.
I think it was a good night. There was plenty of results out of it, I think.
There's all the specialised night where they were targeted.
If you add everything up, I'd say it comes to a good enough value.
In the space of 5 hours this evening, 6 rickshaw drivers were arrested on suspicion of drug dealing. €600 in cash was seized and drugs worth €2,000 were recovered. Cannabis herb, cocaine and ecstasy. Days later, Gardaí from Pearse Street swoop on yet another house and seize another €15,000 worth of drugs destined for imminent distribution to rickshaw dealers. Most of the haul is cocaine. Cash is also seized.
We've identified that we had a particular problem in respect of rickshaws here in the city centre. We have a lot of young people come into the city centre to socialise, and sometimes as part of that socialising they take recreational drugs.
Who's behind all this?
We believe there may be foreign gangs supplying some of the drugs, but there's no doubt as well that there are Irish drugs gangs supplying drugs to these people. The rickshaw drivers primarily are young people. They're primarily young students from outside this jurisdiction. It is very important to identify the fact that a large number of the rickshaw drivers are absolutely law-abiding, but there are also a number of individuals who are breaking the law by distributing drugs.
One of the many rickshaw drivers with no involvement in drug dealing is Mateus Cabral from Rio de Janeiro.
I'm 22 years old. I studied law in Brazil and I came here to improve my English.
Oh, I think most are from Brazil.
Most of us, like 90%.
Have you seen Gardaí out when they would stop some rickshaw drivers and search them because some drivers are involved in dealing drugs? Have you seen that?
They even stopped me. They stop everyone who's in, like, near Grafton Street is the area and knows like the people dealing drugs there. But I don't see who sell drugs as a rickshaw driver. They are drug dealers, not rickshaw drivers, because they don't do lifts or work at this. They just sell drugs. When I started, like, people keep saying to me like, "You will sell drugs," and I said, "No, I won't." And I 8 months not selling drugs.
Do some people who take lifts then ask you if you know about drugs?
Yeah, a lot of times.
Passengers will ask you.
Yeah, they come like, to have it, to sell it, like, I need it. And I said, I don't sell drugs, I can help you. But if you want to go to Grafton Street and you can find there, that's it.
Oh, yeah. Primetime decided to find out whether drugs could still be easily bought from some rickshaw drivers, even after the big Garda operation we witnessed against them only 2 weeks earlier.
G'day lads, how's it going? How are you, man? How does this work? How much do you cost?
It depends where you want to go, like.
Where would you suggest, man? Like,
I don't know, are you like a tourist in here?
Yeah.
Our undercover team of two initially chit-chat about pubs and clubs with the rickshaw driver, who doesn't seem keen on peddling anywhere.
If you just follow the Lewis lane, after the traffic lights, can you see the really last traffic lights?
Oh, yeah.
It's just over there, at the right side.
Oh, you're telling us to walk? Like, and, do you reckon there's anywhere there that might kind of sell a few pills?
A minute and a half into the conversation, our team asks directly about getting drugs.
A couple of pills or anything? I don't know. Bit of coke?
Yeah, you can get for you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is how quick it all happened then.
Not here,
but like,
yeah.
You're gonna spend like 100 for a gram of coke and 10 euro per pill.
10 euro for a pill?
Yeah.
A couple of pills. And 100 for coke?
Yeah, 1 gram.
2 pills, two pills, yeah.
Our men get in for what must be one of the shortest ever rickshaw rides. 200 metres up the road, close to the Lewis stop. The driver reaches down and then hands over 2 pills.
Okay.
That's half the rickshaw journey done. These pills look very like ecstasy. It's back to the top of Grafton Street, where our driver reaches inside his trousers and then hands over what he says is a gram of cocaine. From first mention of drugs, all of this has happened in just 3 minutes, 44 seconds.
You're around tomorrow? Nice one, man. Thanks for that.
The items that we purchased were later destroyed. Controversially, there are currently no rules governing rickshaws. Anyone can cycle one, even drug dealers. For them, the rickshaw is just a prop, an excuse to be on the street. These drug dealers are hiding in plain sight. There's no doubt that significant work is being done by Gardaí to combat this form of street dealing. But for now at least, it remains a feature of our capital city at night.